Did you know that animal health is a priority in a pig production unit? Diseases affect the performance and quality of life of the animals, reflecting on the economic return, the motivation of employees, and the qualitative standards of the pork production chain. Pathogens can enter in a farm through several routes, such as replacement animals, semen, feed, aerosols, vehicles, people, equipment, and work tools. These are the potential carriers of microorganisms. And in order to maintain health standards, a number of biosecurity measures are necessary. Only essential personnel must enter a pig production unit, since any individual, object, or vehicle can pose a risk to the health of the herd. Thus, always try to solve your issues by phone or in meetings outside the farm. If your entry is really necessary, fill out the production unit visit request form and send it to the farm manager and to the PIC Health Assurance Services, requesting approval at least 7 days prior entry. The approval of the visit is conditional upon the downtime period, which is nothing more than a minimum time without exposure to pigs or farm animals. The logbook should be filled out by the farm manager for all visitors, including company employees who do not work at the site daily. The logbook should reflect proper downtime achieved for all visitors. The downtime period requirements are different for each production level: genetic nucleus, gene transfer center, multiplier farms, and commercial farms. It also varies according to the visitor's history. If coming from another country, having visited an agricultural fair, slaughter, or transport wash facilities, having visited farms of other genetics, having visited other PIC units, going downstream barn of same complex, or having visited other places with non-pig livestock. Finally, each profile will be reviewed by the PIC Health Assurance Department. All visits should follow the local dynamic biosecurity pyramid. The flowchart is developed and continuously reviewed based on genetic value, health status, and type of farm, to focus attention to the farms where disease incursion could cause a greater economic impact or effects to downstream supply chain. When moving from the top of the pyramid to the bottom, the downtime is shorter. While moving from bottom to the top, the downtime will increase. In addition to observing downtime, visitors must fill out and sign the PIC Contractor Acknowledgement, Animal Care Agreement, and Biosecurity Staff and Visitor Rules and Regulations forms. This is mandatory for all employees, job candidates, and service providers. It is important that both farm staff and visitors comply with other biosecurity procedures, such as they must not live where there are pigs. They must not live with anyone who works in another farm. They must not have any contact with other farm animals one night before work. And if this happens, they must notify their supervisor. Vehicle entry is also restricted, and if authorized, the following measures must be followed. The exterior and interior of the vehicle must be properly cleaned, dry, and disinfected. The carpets of the vehicle must be washed, decontaminated, and dried. The cabin must be vacuumed and disinfected. When stepping out of the vehicle, the occupants must always put on disposable shoe covers, wearing them to the locker room and then again when exiting the farm. The shoe covers are removed right before stepping back in the vehicle after the visit. The purpose of this procedure is to prevent the spread of any infectious agents that may be in the vehicle or on the shoes. Remember always to close doors and gates behind you. Our goal with all these recommendations is to ensure a perfect balance and compliance with the biosecurity requirements of each production unit, reducing health risks, ensuring animal health and well-being, and making sure your visit and stay in the PIC production units is a calm, safe, and positive experience. We count on your kind cooperation. Only the people that are essential for the operation of the swine farms must be allowed to enter. To reduce the risk of potential introduction of infectious agents that compromise swine health and welfare, it is necessary to strictly comply with all biosecurity procedures, such as have the farm visit request form filled and approved by the Health Assurance Department. Meet the downtime requirements for the production unit to be visited, provide the information requested, and sign the visitor logbook at the farm entrance. All vehicles approaching the production unit must be cleaned, dried, and disinfected. Every person entering the farm should record their body temperature and report if they are experiencing any flu-like symptoms, such as a persistent dry cough or nasal congestion. If the person's body temperature is higher than 100 degrees Fahrenheit or flu-like symptoms are reported, farm entry will be denied, and the person should visit a medical center to establish a diagnosis. If the diagnosis is negative for influenza, the person can return to the farm as soon as the symptoms disappear. However, if the laboratory or clinical diagnosis indicates influenza, the employee or visitor can only return to farm after 7 consecutive days if symptoms have disappeared. Seasonal influenza vaccination is recommended by health authorities around the world every year. The entry of any equipment, supplies, and food is also restricted. If absolutely necessary, the farm manager has to authorize the introduction of such equipment or food. Once authorized, supplies, equipment, or food must pass through the decontamination chamber using disinfection or UV radiation. Attention! Cell phones and pork products must not be introduced into the production unit. For the decontamination process, it is important to use personal protection equipment when handling chemicals or disinfectants. Organize the material to be decontaminated on wire shelves and without stacking to allow complete exposure of all surfaces to the action of the disinfectant or UV light. Ensure UV light exposure is at a wavelength of 254 nanometers for 10 minutes minimum contact time, or use the appropriate concentration of disinfectant indicated by the manufacturer's label for at least 1 hour of contact time. The only access to the production unit shall be through the shower area. This area is divided into 3 areas: dirty, intermediate, and clean. There is a bench between the dirty and intermediate area where you must leave your shoes. Sit on the bench with your legs on the side on which you entered. Remove and leave shoes on this side. Without putting your feet on the floor, swing your legs around to the other side of the bench to the shower area. Next, you will find lockers to store your clothes and personal items. The intermediate area is the shower. When showering, wash your body and hair with soap and shampoo for at least 3 minutes. In addition, carefully clean nose and nail. Optical glasses should also be washed with soap or shampoo. After showering, you should proceed towards the clean area where you will find towels and clothing provided by the farm for exclusive use during your stay in the production unit. Boots will be found outside the office before entering the barns. If it is necessary to step back into the dirty area, you must shower again before returning to the clean area. After the visit, you should also exit through the shower area. This procedure avoids carrying infectious agents from the visited farm. Take your boots off before entering the shower area. Please follow these instructions for exiting the farm. Place the clothes used in the basket located in the clean area. After showering, dry with a clean towel and dispose in the clean area. Towels must not be taken to the dirty area. Then go to the dirty area where you will have access to your clothes and personal belongings. Then sit on the bench to put your shoes back on. The biosecurity of a production unit is everyone's responsibility. Understanding, respecting, and rigorously performing each of these procedures minimizes the risk to animal health and well-being. Please comply with these good practices.